Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Pam, your story is such a good example of true transformation of a business leader in the workplace. You went from doing to being who you really are. And that's what my company, Awakened Work, is all about. I help leaders and entrepreneurs really discover what their superpowers are, but help them to unleash that in their lives so that their work and their play coincide. So thank you for sharing your story because it truly is a living example of what I'm about to talk about. It takes a lot of courage. Uh, so the experience that I have that I felt was important to share with you guys today is that most business leaders and entrepreneurs that start coaching with me are in some sort of phase of burnout. They're in some sort of unhealthy mental state of being. And they're so focused on getting things done. And that's what I think important to talk about is our work culture has really bred being in the doing and less in the form of being who you really are. And so meditation, and I'm so glad that we're talking about this today, is that way of going inward so that you can be in the well-being within you and receive that. And I don't know anyone, including myself, that has ever been taught to go inward when you're at work. We're always going to work and going outward. So we're always in the practice of going away from ourselves. We're actually leaving ourselves for 8 hours every day. And then we come home and we're like, oh my God, there's got to be more than this. Well, there is more than this. There's so much more than this. And so would you be able to bring up my slide for me? Please. So I know this burnout well because at 30 years old, I was in burnout. I was in the there's got to be more than this to life. And I honestly, I had everything that I ever wanted. I created a beautiful world around me, but I wasn't happy inside and I wasn't fulfilled. And so embarking on my own journey of finding balance and empowerment is what brought me into doing the work that I'm doing today with leaders and helping them also to align to who they really are so they can make the impact that they're here to make. And Pam, I'm so excited to see the impact you're making because you've made this change. The thing that I notice most about leaders who come to me, and I've been here too again, is that we tend to go outward with our energy. So we're always in the state of overgiving, right? So it's like the water's coming in, but all the water's going out. It's kind of like dumping all of your energy on your garden, right? All day long, but doing it all at once. We have to balance our breath, right? So meditation is so important because we get to come back to the breath and there's that inhale and there's the exhale and they have to be equal. But when we're over giving our power, we're actually exhaling, exhaling, exhaling all day long and not receiving as much as we're giving. And so leaders have a tendency, because I think from what I see is they're so passionate, they're so purposeful, and they're people driven. They are here to change the game. They are here to make an impact in the world that brings positive change to people. But when we're taught to be this way in a culture that is about profits and production over people and passion, we tend to get out of balance with our power. And so my awakened work is to help leaders and entrepreneurs get back in balance with their power so that they don't have to take a year off, so they don't have to leave their job. They can actually learn how to redistribute their own energy and their own power in a way that first serves them, but then can serve the all. I have a saying that goes like this. You cannot be for the all if you are not for the one in you first. That flow of power has to fulfill the one right here. And so as Long P. John guided us into that meditation, immediately we're first receiving and then able to be in the presence and let that flow out. Back to slide, please. Sorry, it disappeared on me. That second habit that leaders have is that we tend to take on too much responsibility, which means we're just out there doing it all. And there's this illusion that we're doing it all, but we're really not doing it all. We're not accomplishing what our true contribution is. We're just expending energy all day long, only to leave us empty and exhausted at the end of the day. And then 3, the oversourcing. It's that kind of give to get mentality. If I give all of my energy to something now, it'll fulfill me later. But what happens is we give it all, we sacrifice it all to then not have it later. It doesn't come back to us that way. It has to come through us, which is that shift from living inward, right, instead of living outward first. Number 4 is that we're so overdriven. We have so much power as leaders. We have so much potential. We have so much passion that we almost forget to take care of ourselves with that passion, right? So we're always driving towards some outer thing rather than driving that power inward and then sharing it. So I know overdriven might sound crazy. Of course, we all want to be driven in our life, but to be overdriven with our power also leaves us in that state of feeling empty. The last one, over-identifying with power. This is where, Anthony mentioned this previously, where we get to that point of burnout, but leaders don't know how to get the help because they're so used to identifying themselves with, I have it all together, I don't have any problems, nobody can see me be weak. Power means that I'm always efficient, right? That I'm always being okay. And the truth is, we're denying our own humanity when we aren't allowing ourselves to need support and need help as leaders. And so I find that when clients come to me and they're in a very high level corporate, job, that they don't know where to go for help. They hire me personally to do coaching with them instead of going through their company. There's a lot of shame around this that I hope we can clear up. But the mindset of equality is one of the things that I work with my clients on. And so when you go inward and you go into meditation, there's that place where you come back to the breath, where the in-breath and the out-breath are equal, right? So your giving and receiving need to be equal. There's no greater than or lesser than to your personal power, right? Light is light, love is love, power is power. It's all about how we harness that power and distribute it through us that'll bring the balance. And that's what I help my clients do. And it's made all the difference in getting to watch them go from suffering at work to thriving at work is really one of my greatest joys, because when they get to thrive, they truly get to bring the impact and the values and the passion to the people at work, and they get to make the difference that actually fulfills their heart. And that's what meditation can bring you into that place to start the new way, to take you into making the impact that you're here to make and being the leader that you really are, and not sacrificing your authentic nature to do it. So it's about learning how to balance your power, and I'm here to help leaders do that. And I think that's about all I have to share today. I hope I didn't go over my 8 minutes.
Tami, would you like to give your advice coming from your side, from the Western world, and your awakening sessions? How would you do it differently? Would you like to advise him? Tami, you're mute, Tami.
Yes, I can't answer that question for you. A lot of things come up in meditation, and in meditation, there's a practice of being with whatever arises. It's being with the pain, it's being with the thoughts and not judging them, and sitting back and just being more aware of them instead of engaging with them. Sometimes it's just for you to observe. And I think a lot of times we get so involved in trying to get the bad thoughts to go away or the anxiety to go away that it gets us in an internal power struggle. And so my advice would be for him is to just be more an observer of what's arising and come from a place of non-judgment. Yes, I believe when we were working together, I had you take some time to look at what actions were sourcing energy for you, you know? And so when we're doing things that aren't really in alignment to us, it's going to leave us feeling empty. And so anything that is true for you is actually going to expand your energy and open you up. And I think at that time we were trying to help you look at, what am I doing that isn't serving me versus what can I do that will serve me? So when it comes to alignment, remember, if it's real and true for you, it will light you up. It will make you feel more excited. It'll get your energy going. Um, I think that's what we did at the time. If anybody who wants to do that exercise, it's very powerful.
How a wake-up call for business leader in mental well-being. I would like to give each and everyone just 1 minute, each panelist, to give a wrap-up session to advise to entrepreneurs what they should overcome and how they could overcome their current situation. We can start from you, Pam.
Oh, okay. So really quickly, when we get to a point of burnout and we're in anxiety and exhaustion, we have a tendency to want to fix it quick. We want the quick, make it easy, make it now. And so, as leaders, you need to remember that it took you a long time to get to this place of burnout. And so building that mental acuity that you need so that you don't end up in burnout, it takes time and practice, and take the steps every day. I've been in this coaching business for 15 years. There is no other better tool than meditation. You cannot get away from the stress without meditation. Meditation takes you into well-being within you, and you deserve to be in well-being. But each and every day, it's going to unlock something new for you. So, take a drink of well-being every single day. That isn't hard. Start with 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and it goes to an hour, 3 hours. You're going to really enjoy and love being with yourself. Doing and being disconnected is not fulfilling. So come home to you and love yourself enough to meditate. I promise you the results will amaze you.
Free your mind, close your eyes.